Welcome back to another episode of Unveiled. I'm your host, Ahmad McKinney. This podcast is bringing you all the insights and behind the scenes of the wedding industry. Today's guest, we have Sarah Elizabeth. I know you don't like to say Sarah Elizabeth, but
that's all right.
I love it. So Sarah, I want to say thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Good. Can you look into that camera right there and tell them what you do and what you offer?
So I am a primarily wedding and engagement photographer. I started in 2016, so this is my 8th wedding season. And yeah, I just love doing weddings and hanging out with couples and all that stuff. So.
I know. It's always a fun day. So tell me what got you inspired to become a wedding photographer?
Yeah, so I think from the beginning, you start out with photography and you do like everything, like pets, kids, families, weddings, everything. And
exactly.
So that's what I did. And I just like kept coming back to the fact that I loved the couples and working with couples and just getting to build like that relationship with them from like the initial inquiry to doing an engagement session and then all the planning in between, leading up to the wedding day, just like building like a friendship and then like always coming back to that even after the wedding day,
right?
Is just really cool. So I think it's just about relationships for me and just getting to know my couples and just serving them the best I can on the day.
So you said you start off with animals, pets, kids, families, the whole nine. So you only primarily do weddings now?
Yes, I mean, here and there. I've got some families I'll still do here and there, but I am trying to move into mainly just the weddings and engagements.
Nice.
So more specializing. So
nice. That's perfect. So what would you say your style is as far as, taking photos?
I would say it's kind of changed throughout the years. I would say now, like I love the candid stuff or like the stuff that you make look candid. Sometimes you can't always get like the perfect in the moment stuff. So you have to kind of prompt it.
Right.
So that, and then just like joyful, and a mixture of just like the traditional stuff and then also like the candid stuff so that it's just easier to remember your day when you look back and see like the moments that actually happened and capturing all that. So.
Right. Well, I always love to look at your Instagram because obviously you've been doing it for a long time, just like most others. Everybody has their style. And I really like your style because it's really like, I think the right term would be light and airy.
Yeah.
And I really like your style. So can you tell us how important is it to hire the right photographer?
So when you think about it, like on your wedding day, all you leave with is your spouse, of course. And then you got like, the only other thing you have really to remember the day visually is photos or video.
Yeah.
So, right there, that tells you a lot. Like that's really important to find the right person that's going to have the experience, the right equipment, and just like the knowledge to know where to be and how to capture all those moments that you want to remember.
Right.
If you get one shot at it and it's not something that can be redone. So it's really important to find the right person to capture those.
Of course. So you said you really like the whole engagement of, really start to finish of a wedding video, connecting with your clients, all the way up into the day of wedding. How does that look for you when you're booking your clients?
Well, I would say, so I start out with like, the initial inquiry and then we do a little short phone call.
Yeah.
And I feel like the phone call, you can kind of like, it is important for me to feel like there's like a spark or a connection initially, like we vibe together.
Exactly.
So I feel like you can kind of get that through a phone call.
Yeah.
And then usually if they do decide to book, we go ahead and we do the engagement session after, and that's where we really connect and like can get to know each other, try to find like a common ground and like laugh a lot so that we feel like it just feels like
natural.
Yeah, and that way like it feels like a friend showing up to photograph your day and not just like some random vendor,
Nice. So is that something that you include, like when you have a consultation, you book a client, is wedding engagement something that you
I try to always do. I do include it like a free add-on for wedding packages because it's just so important to me to try to get to know them better before the wedding day and like meet and and not only just meet over coffee, but like actually do a session and like get them in front of the camera. So
Right.
I feel like that really makes a big difference for sure.
I guess that's a big difference too, right? Because if you're throwing in that for, you know, your packages, one, you're meeting the clients, two, you're making them feel comfortable, but three, what is that in between line of making those people feel comfortable with taking photos, especially for the people that are not comfortable on camera?
Yeah, I have that a lot.
Yeah.
So I think like just like I said, like showing up on the engagement session and they're kind of stiff at first, just like finding that common ground, getting to know them,
Yeah.
and then like finding ways to laugh, which is like kind of comes natural for me. I just like laugh a lot. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's easy to like find ways to laugh with them, and then that kind of makes them like loosen up and just feel more comfortable, and then it's easier for me to take pictures of them because they're happier and they're more comfortable with me, and then just like, you know, we're leaving the session at the end of it feeling like friends, and then the wedding day is so much more fun, and it's just
Yeah.
yeah, it just kind of comes full circle. So
100%. Well, we done a couple weddings together,
yeah.
and the first one was Adam and
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
Yes.
I don't know why I forgot that.
There's so many names.
I know
So
you,
many
you
names
do
to
so
remember.
much.
Yeah.
But I remember when I first met you, you're just like, you know, just going through the motions. And I work with a lot of photographers. Some of them can be very stressed out at some points, but you were just in there doing your own thing. You was like really relaxed, letting me do my thing. And that's, you know, that's kind of how I roll too. Just go through the day, nice, smooth. And
Yeah.
is that kind of how you are? Is that what helps you out? Is a lot of pre-planning? Yeah, I
Well,
guess you can really never plan
obviously,
for.
yeah, there is planning, but with a wedding day, it's not like there's things happen, and you can't always plan for everything. And I think just like doing it for so long, and just I kind of have a calm nature as it is, so I just kind of know, like, I just go with the flow on
Right.
the wedding day, and it's like if things happen, if we get behind, like it's not the end of the world, and we'll make
Exactly.
up for it, and it'll be fine.
Nice.
So.
So outside of photography, who is Sarah?
Well, I'm a mom and a wife, and I have chickens. We live in the country.
Do you want to talk about chickens for a second?
Do you
No,
wanna-
we'll leave that out. We'll leave that out. So, kind of a backstory. What is it? I didn't know that chickens.
Oh,
Yeah, you
Yeah.
explain it, because
Ahmad didn't know that there were chickens that lay eggs without chicks in them.
Yeah.
That what it was? Yeah.
you know what?
He thought they went on a conveyor belt and got zapped. The
I
chicken
thought
got
so.
zapped down. Yeah, city boy Ahmad over here.
She's hardcore judging me. And I remember the first time, because we have our, you know, they put us in a special place, you know, to eat our dinner or whatever. And, you know, you said, yeah, you live in the country. I don't know why I said, you got horses?
Yeah.
That was like
If you live in
another,
the country, you must have horses.
you
I
got to
guess.
have horses, you got chickens, you got cows, goats.
No, just chickens. That's all that other stuff is too much. It's too high maintenance for me. So.
I feel you. So chickens
Yeah.
is, okay. So you said you're a wife, you have kids. What do you guys like to do?
Well, there's very little free time, but we like to be outside, yard work, gardening,
Right,
the usual. We're pretty simple, laid back. So
right, nice. But what is one thing you would like everyone to know about you that someone might not know?
Probably just being easy to get along with. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like no matter who you are, no matter what you believe or what your values are, I can get along with you. So.
Right. So jumping back into your photography, what do you think is your proudest moment as being a photographer?
The big question.
Yeah.
Probably I would say like when I was finally able to go full time and like replace like my 9-to-5 income. It took like a year or two to do that.
Right.
But yeah, I think like, and then just going from there and just knowing like I was making more doing this rather than the 9-to-5,
Typical.
and like just that like just feeling proud of like all, because it did take a lot of time and work to work
Like,
up
you
to
got
that.
this.
And yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And it's hard running a business and being a mom and a wife
Yeah.
and all that other stuff. So
What was that turning point that you said, you know what, I'm going to leave my job and go full time with this?
Well, I think I was just like, I hated the job I was in currently. It
Yeah.
just was draining. I was in an office building with no windows, 8 to 5 every day. And then I would spend like my lunch hour and like evenings and weekends doing photo work. And so I had no life. Like it was not fun. Yeah. So I was just like, something has to change. So I was glad I made the jump, and it was a leap of faith for sure.
Yeah. Nice. So when we're going back into doing wedding photos, everybody has their own, you know, unique style.
Mm-hmm.
What is one thing that you try to incorporate in every wedding that you do? Is like, this is a photo I gotta have every wedding.
I would say, gosh, that's so hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to be like, I don't know, 'cause it's hard to know what other people are doing.
Yeah.
I would say just like getting lots of like unique looking, like candid bridal party photos are fun. Just because those are their people.
Right.
And that's what I would say for
Candid,
that one.
candid.
Yeah.
Just everybody just having a good time.
Yeah.
And I think those are good marketing points too.
Yeah.
Because if you can get everybody, and everybody's posting and tagging. So
Right.
do you think that's a benefit to you? Do you get a lot of inquiries after you get after you've done a wedding?
Yeah, for sure. Just like, tagging all the vendors helps, like, because they're resharing, and then tagging, like, I don't usually tag all the bridal party because it is hard to find everybody.
Right.
I don't know their names, but they see it like from the couple, and then they're resharing, and so yeah, I do get a lot of inquiries now. I would say like probably at least 50% of my new bookings come from just word of mouth by that. So
and we're kind of like in that age group or demographic where a lot of people are getting married. So I know, like I tell them all the time, when we film a wedding and we finish it and give it back, we probably get anywhere from 6 to 10 inquiries off that one wedding.
Yeah,
because
that's awesome.
I don't know how many other people are at that wedding that's about to get married, but there's a lot.
Yeah, and they notice you, and
Yep. Especially, I love it when I get those inquiries of you done my friend wedding. I was actually in the wedding party. I was in the wedding party. It's like, you already see me. You already know how I perform or act or whatever. So that's like literally a win-win. Yeah.
I have had a couple reach out, and she just said exactly like what you said. Like, I watched you and I just loved how you took control over the day, and just like, that's what I want for my day. So yeah, like that is really good marketing that way, and just like getting yourself out there. Yeah. And just like knowing on wedding days, like, you're always being watched.
Right. 100%.
So,
do you think, because we're kind of in that gray area, right? Is a lot of our clients are word of mouth.
mm-hmm.
I have yet to crack the perfect like ad campaign for like social media. Have you cracked that yet or no?
I honestly don't use social media campaigns.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Oh shoot, my bad. Sorry. No, I'm joking. But okay, so current trends in the wedding photography business right now. What are some trends right now?
I would say there's always TikTok trends that kind of like the groomsmen one last year. It was like I don't know if you remember that. It was like the groomsmen like entrance thing on TikTok that everybody was doing.
What is it? Were they like introduce them?
I think they were like carrying their suits in. And
okay.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
Kind of like a game day.
Yeah,
like,
game day.
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
Game day groomsmen. So there's always things like that. But I think like photo-wise, like, the long exposure, blurry.
How do you feel about it? Let's get into it. How do you feel about the blurry photos?
Yeah, so I appreciate all different kinds of photography, not just light and airy, and not just like specific styles. So I appreciate it in the right setting.
Right.
Yeah. And I'll admit, like, I may throw one or two in on like a session or a wedding, just for like, I think it's good for capturing like real movement, like not just they're standing there and it's blurry. It's kind of, but like if they're running or it kind of gives a little bit of a story.
Do you
So.
think somebody actually messed up and then posted and was like, oh, I like that?
Maybe.
You know?
Yeah, there's all kinds of just like creative stuff that people
You know, I like it now. I like it now.
you
Like,
didn't like it at first.
no, it was like when it first came around, I was like, that's pretty dope. But then you
Yeah.
actually start thinking about it long
Yeah.
term. It's like
Yeah, I think it's more for storytelling for sure.
you show your kids this, but they ain't gonna be able to see nothing.
Right.
You're gonna just see some flashes and movement. But I mean, I think it's here for now. But
Yeah.
it is something that's probably gonna fade out over time.
Right.
Probably
That's why
very
you don't want
quickly.
to overdo it for
Exactly.
sure.
Perfect. So, you ready for some hot takes?
Sure.
Are you positive?
What does that mean? Like,
Hot.
okay.
No, I'm joking. No. Before we get into that, I know we talked about how you deal with shy couples, but what is your technique to dealing with shy couples that are camera shy?
I would say, like I said, just trying to get to know them right off the bat and asking them questions and like really trying to figure out what they like, or like just trying to like relate to them in some way.
Right.
Because you always feel more comfortable when you're like, oh yeah, like I like that too. And then just like, I guess practice. Like the first few minutes of a session, we really don't get much. It's more like getting comfortable, and like you can tell that they're just uncomfortable
Right.
from the beginning. That's how I am too.
Right.
So I think just like, and then just reminding them too, like they do have to give me something. I'm
Right.
not magic. Like you have to give me
gotta work
like
with me a little bit.
work with me, give me something to work with. Just like, a lot of laughing always looks good too, and any candid shot. So
Nice. Okay, now we can hop into the questions.
okay.
All right. Nothing too crazy, but how do you manage to stay creative with each wedding?
Yes, that can be hard sometimes. A new venue is always fun.
Yeah.
To stay creative with. Sometimes if like I've done a venue so many times and I'm just like,
Tired of it?
yeah, I'm just like, I have nothing new. I do go and I look up like other weddings that other photographers have done.
Yeah.
See like what spaces in that venue they've used, or what they do that was different that I could kind of try.
Right.
That kind of does spark creativity. Sometimes you just have to do some styled shoots, or like a photo conference might help to spark some creativity.
Right.
So
Right. What's your opinion of unplugged ceremonies?
So I think it's a good idea when it works out, but
There's always
there's
somebody.
there's always someone's aunt or uncle with their phone or iPad out. So even though sadly it doesn't always work out, but I think I can say like I've never had like too much of a issue with someone. Like I've always figured out like I'll just move a little bit or get closer.
Right.
Or like luckily, knock on wood, that hasn't happened yet. So, but yeah, I do think it's like it is a good idea to do. But I can also understand like why some people might want like extra pictures taken like from their friends and family too. So.
Right. All right. So next question. Do you think it's important for the couple to do a first look?
So that is a hot question. I don't think I don't push my couples to do that. I know a lot of photographers do, and coordinators for sure. I really don't think it's like you have to do this or your whole day is going to be all about photos. Like, I think there's a way to like, if you absolutely don't want to do it, you can still get separate bridal party photos done before the ceremony, and then just focus on, your family, couple, and group bridal party afterwards.
Yeah.
And you can do it within the hour. I mean,
yeah,
if you move quickly, and I feel like I'm pretty good at like moving quickly and knowing and like gauging when the couple's kind of feeling like done with photos.
exactly.
Because I'm not there to make the whole day about the photos. Like I know it's about much more than that. So I try to make it as minimal as possible, but obviously as many photos as I can get. But yeah, no, I would say I'm like whatever the couple
Right.
Whatever the couple is wanting to do is what I'm for. So
Easy going, go with the flow type of gal.
Yeah.
Nice. How do you handle guests who interfere with your photos? How does that even happen?
It has. Well, sometimes you just have to tell people to move.
Yeah.
And they're usually understand. Like I say it in a nice way. They're usually understanding about it. So
Nice. That is hot text right there.
Okay.
So, Sarah, I want to thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah, thanks.
Do you
for
have
having
any
me.
closing remarks or where these people can find you or anything?
So I'm on Instagram and Facebook. Both are just SarahElizabeth.photos. And yeah, I don't post a whole lot on there because I try to stay limited on social media just for personal reasons. But
Right.
I do share a lot of my work on there and just like recent weddings and all that. And then of course my website, SarahElizabeth.photos as well.
Nice. All that will be in the comments below. But Sarah, thanks again for coming on today. That has been another episode of Unveiled. We want to thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel.